LIV and the PGA merged yesterday, and you being an avid golfer, or at least a backswing guy, because I actually haven't seen your swing. What do you think?
I think that this was an all-time behind-the-scenes negotiating move by Jay Monahan, who seems like the world's biggest piece of shit. And if I was on a PGA Tour, I would have to be restrained from attacking him, especially if I was one of those guys that did not take $100 million to go play golf for a year and do less work. And then all of a sudden I find out that, our boss, who was comparing people to like having blood on their hands essentially for doing business with the Saudis, was doing business with the Saudis behind all of our backs and preventing me from getting my money.
Well, he didn't want to get blood on Tiger's hands. So what he was doing was he was taking all the blood and putting it all over his hands. The problem with Jay Monahan is he forgot the first rule of Fight Club, which is you don't forget 9/11. Somehow he forgot 9/11 in a year. And I guess it begs the question, is Jay Monahan a bigger piece of shit than Dan Snyder?
That's a good question. I haven't asked Dan Snyder about 9/11 yet. I plan to one day. Because I'm sure he had something to do with it.
Yeah.
But
somewhere down the line.
I think this is one of the biggest scumbag moves that I remember in all of sports, actually. Like the fact that he was telling people, like, hey, don't do business with these guys because they did 9/11. And then using that as like a barrier to his own players going out there and getting paid. Like that sucks. I feel bad for anybody on the PGA Tour that listen to him. But it is a reminder. I think every now and again in sports we need these reminders. You know us, we're big player empowerment guys.
Yeah.
Except when it comes to NBA players doing load management, but that's a different story.
Yeah,
but like we want players to get money because at the end of the day, the commissioners of these leagues are going to stick a knife in your back if it means that make a small amount of profit in the long term over it.
That's what I said a while back to these guys, and they were like, no way I would take money. Tiger should take money to go over there. And I was just like, why not? Like, why not take that money? Because at the end of the day, if something like this happens, now you're just looking like,
yeah, you're sitting there with your dick in your hand, and this guy costs these golfers over $100 billion? Or $1 billion. $1 billion. It cost them over $100 billion.
Well, I'm just concerned
they've only got $10 billion
Tiger.
into sports washing, but somehow – no, they cost these guys $1 billion. Tiger Woods like $800
million.
Zalatoris had only made $15 million, and they offered him $150. He said, "Hey, mate, it was a dream of mine to play in a major, mate." And then a year later, he can play in. All these guys that left can play in a major anyway. So it's terrible. And you know what the fucked up thing is? They're going after soccer. This is all part of the 2030 Saudi vision, which is to diversify their investment in things outside oil. Because they don't want to, they want to have all their eggs in one basket. And it kind of begs the question, while, Jay Monahan's a piece of shit and these people are bad people, is this good for the planet?
That's a good question, Chris.
Yeah, it is a good question. And they're working with a charity. It's a 501c3.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's for profit. That was part of the explanation for why they're merging. So a lot of people are saying that it had to do with the fact that since there's lawsuits going on between the two sides, there would be discovery that was going to get in the way for the PGA Tour. People would be able to see behind their scenes all their finances, realize how much they're not actually a nonprofit, and that's what made the PGA Tour come to the table and finally do the deal. I think they just wanted money, to be honest with you. And it's just tough. It's got to be a tough day if you're a PGA Tour player.
Yeah, and if you're a golf fan and for a year you were like, yeah, I'm not doing the LIV thing. I remember 9/11. And now you're like, how do I forget 9/11? They need to come around with a Men in Black thing and make everybody forget it. The people who are really fucked here are the wrestling fans. That they remember 9/11 really well. They remember when John Cena came in and announced that Osama bin Laden was killed. Who could forget that moment? They had no idea that the Saudis already have a relationship with the WWE. Mm-hmm. So no matter who you are, it depends, what sport you like, but no matter who you are, it feels like you got to forget 9/11 now.
Yeah, every time I go to Chipotle, I forget 9/11.
Yeah.
The Public Investment Fund has a lot of money in those burritos too. So it's everywhere. They're definitely they're putting money in everything, and they've got more money than God. So eventually, you won't be able to do anything without giving money to Mohammed bin Salman eventually.
Do you think these guys should be able to do you think these guys have like liable lawsuits like with the
I don't
PGA?
know. I'm no expert, but you would think.
You would think
No,
like
I
for
don't
the
think
difference.
so. I don't think they do. I'm no legal expert, but I don't think they do.
But like I feel like if I was a player, I would not want to play again until I got the difference of whatever I was supposed to make. If I was one of those guys that had an offer on the table and I told the PGA, hey, I'm thinking about going to do this, and you guys talk me out of it, I need the difference. Whatever you're paying me now.
Unless there was some sort of collusion where a year ago Monahan and Saudis were in bed, you can't really apply morality as a reason why these guys get fucked out of money, because they made the decision on moral grounds. And then they changed, and then Monahan and the PGA changed their mind. So I don't think so.